Hello, my name is Vudani, and in this video I'll be giving you an overview of the Guild Wars 2 warrior class from a PvP perspective. Just to briefly go over what the warrior is in this game, you're essentially a weapons master. With over 20 weapon combinations at your disposal, the warrior has more weapons available than any other class. Being a melee focused character, you'd think kiting would be an issue. The warrior has many options for closing gaps and shrugging off effects that may take away from face smashing time on a target. Face smashing is pretty much the point of the warrior, and using their secondary resource skill, adrenaline, they can build up devastating attacks that are crucial for any build. The strengths of a warrior in Guild Wars 2 may be familiar, but that doesn't take away from how enjoyable the class is to play. The first and most noticeable aspect of the warrior is the insane amount of burst they can put out. Making people dead becomes a breeze when using various utility skills to bolster attacks or hinder enemies. Weapons such as axe and greatsword can do some of the most devastating amounts of damage in very little time. Adrenaline helps amplify this process. By using skills, traits, and just fighting in general, you build adrenaline which has 3 levels of effectiveness. Each level of adrenaline you attain will allow you to use stronger versions of special skills available with each weapon. These skills are often the most effective attack available for each weapon playstyle. The warrior has many abilities they must use in different situations in order to be effective. In almost all the builds I have seen, each ability has a time and a place, making the playstyle a lot less brain dead than you might think. Depending on the situation, you'll often change your approach on a fight to help control, pester, kill, or support those nearby. Warrior's burst is almost always dependent on being within groping distance of your target. The warrior has no lack of charges to achieve this. They also have a variety of skills and traits that grant you the balance stance effect, which will make you immune to control effects for a short time. On top of that, the rifle is a viable option for those nagging elementalists or other classes being an annoyance from afar. Lastly, this class has the potential to do anything. The warrior, while traditionally tanks and DPSs, has multiple utility skill types specifically designed for supporting allies. They also have skills designed to help resurrect or rally, which instantly resurrects teammates to 25% health and grants them 1 second of invulnerability. On top of this, they can pretty much fill any role you can think of, from ranged AoE to single target bleed slice and dice style. The warrior may sound like it does everything, which it does, but there are still some drawbacks to this juggernaut of a class. One weakness I see in the warrior are a couple underwhelming utility skills they have. The warrior has many options for utility. The banners they can provide don't seem to give the oomph a utility skill should in structured PvP. On top of being able to throw banners on the ground, they have a few shout skills that provide lackluster benefits as well. While some banners and shouts are an exception and can be very effective when used properly, some just feel worthless. Being a one-trick pony isn't always a bad thing, but when every warrior you see charges at you and goes all in, it can become easier to counter. Towards the end of Beta Weekend 2, it was already apparent that people were adjusting to the high bursts of warriors on initial contact using vulnerabilities, dodge rolls, and stun breaks. This simply means you'll have to outsmart opponents more often and goad them into using defensives, but people will generally know what's coming. Now, I say warriors lack ranged options, but I don't mean warriors have no range. It simply means that with a warrior, weapon switching is key to most builds, and it's difficult to incorporate a gun or bow into an effective melee build. While rifle swords can be very deadly, it's also one of the few builds that synergize well with ranged abilities. Most of the time, it's simply a better idea to find a situation against a ranged opponent that allows you to be within melee range. The Guild Wars 2 warrior is a class that builds on many other games' version of a warrior. If you've played a warrior in another MMO and enjoyed it, this class will be only better in this iteration. By giving warriors so many options of playstyle, I see this class becoming more and more complex, with many viable PvP builds emerging as the game matures. For more in-depth tutorials, guides, and discussions on the warrior class, feel free to check out the videos in the annotations linked. If you enjoyed the video, let me know why. Also, I'd hope you check out the other Guild Wars 2 content I'll be releasing as often as I can. If you hated the video, well, let me know why as well. My goal is to produce accurate, informational, and enjoyable content given from a true hardcore gamer's perspective. And any way you think I can do that better, I'll gladly consider.